Good morning. Yes, it's only 2:22. I've been up since quarter after midnight. I got 2 hours of sleep. Woke up about a half an hour before I got out of bed. Sat in the atrium for a good while. I don't even know how long it was, over a half an hour. Didn't feel like starting a video at 1:11 though. I was still deep in contemplation. Even though I had written the blurb and the title, although I just altered the title a little bit this morning, but I had actually written it yesterday to send it to Peter Van Runt so that he would have an idea what I was talking about today, because I plan to do a video with him later on. 6 o'clock my time, unless we can connect earlier. Anyway, the title for today is Being True to Self and Living According to My Values. In yesterday's video, I talked about values. I'd like to expand on that today, specifically valuing the human experience. Whatever your belief or status in the world, I think most will agree that being human is far from easy. As I related the lottery dream yesterday, many times it seems as if we almost reach fulfillment of one of our dreams, only to have it seem to pull away. Some say or imply this is due to the fact that the world is an illusion, and we are not supposed to have things work smoothly here. Well, because I do value life, especially the human experience, I have long wanted things to be easier and more fulfilling. That's why I have been such a proponent of justice based on natural law, and why I have fought the system in trying to keep my home and exercise my rights. I do not choose to live for pie in the sky and the sweet by and by, which seems to be the goal of matrix mentality. That would not be living according to my values. Noticed I have an extra space in here. Let's just get rid of it. If it's true, and I believe it is, that we are eternal beings, that we are spiritual beings, that we come from a place where identity is perhaps less important than it is on earth, than it is once we have physical embodiment. If that's true, that we are eternal, infinite beings, then it would stand to reason to me that being in a body means we're here to have a human experience and to embrace our humanity. As I've expressed values yesterday, and as I've talked about my perspectives in all of my videos, people have had the idea that I'm talking about one person in particular, Bill Ballard, and he has responded and rebutted my things, but it's not about Bill Ballard. When are you going to see that that's not what I'm talking about? I'm not talking about any one person. I'm talking about ideas. I'm talking about values. I'm not pointing a finger. I like Bill Ballard. Bill Ballard likes me. And I believe that that's true. I don't know if he likes me now. He seems to be very reactive to me. I don't believe I'm reacting to him. Maybe I am. But I'm following my heart and I'm dealing with what's in front of me. I'm embracing my human experience. I've seen lots of people who seem to try to get out of their human experience. They're constantly denying their human experience. They're constantly denying the reality of the struggle and trying to get into a place of bliss. And I love bliss. I love it. I love feeling good. I really do. But I've spent much of my life doing the shadow work and embracing my humanity, embracing the concepts of justice that have come down to us in our collective consciousness, embodied in the Magna Carta and the Declaration of Independence and the Bill of Rights and the Constitution of the United States and the Declaration of Human Rights by the United Nations even. We have basic rights, and those rights are being violated more blatantly than ever before in the 21st century. More blatantly, now that we're starting to wake up, it gets worse, not better, as the darkness becomes, as the dark entities, the dark minions, if you will, seem to be working overtime to still try to make their plan work, which it's not going to work. And I get frustrated sometimes, and it's my frustration. It's not about somebody else. It's my frustration because I think if only we could all get on the same page, if only we could all speak with one voice and say to the people that have been trying to run the world according to their vision of control and domination, stop. If we could all collectively stand up and say, it's over. We're done with this part of the game. We're done with it. If we could all do that, it would be over just like that. Because there's no way the handful of people that try to run the world could run it if the majority, if the masses, the 99.9% would stand up and just say no more. But we have all these people out there that think, well, I don't want to get involved in the conflict. I don't want to fight for justice. I don't want to fight for equality. I don't want to fight for every person to have the right to live his or her life according to his or her conscience and according to his or her values, provided they don't hurt somebody else. And so we allow the thing to go on. As I said, so many spiritual principles seem to be pie in the sky. It seems to be denial. It seems to be turning a deaf ear. It's not about any one person. It's about an idea that seems to permeate our culture. The idea of escapism. The idea of turning your head and putting your head in the sand. This is what it looks like to me. It's not about anybody else. And God has made it clear to me that not everybody plays the same role. So I honor the roles, and I guess that's a role. I mean, I guess that there's something positive that's going to come out of that. I don't know what it is, because to me, it seems counterproductive to what I feel like I'm here to accomplish and what I feel humanity is here to accomplish. That is to rise above the suffering, to rise above the separation consciousness into unity consciousness. And yet so many of us that are spiritual, that see spirituality as the beacon of hope that it is and is supposed to be, we can't even get along with ourselves. I mean, that's sad, folks. That's sad. You know, it's not about making somebody wrong. Do you understand? I'm not trying to make anybody wrong. But I'd like to see us come together and rise to the point where we can literally co-create the world that works for everybody. I use that phrase all the time. That is the kingdom of heaven on earth. That is getting out of our heads and into our hearts. That is putting spiritual principles first. That is all of that. It's not about one person being better than somebody else, or I've got the only way, I've got the truth, and you've got to do it my way. I don't have all of the answers. I know I don't. I mean, I had all the answers when I was in my 20s, for God's sake. when I was a teenager and in my 20s. Yeah, I had all the answers then, or at least I thought I did. I've been around a few years since then, though, and I know I don't have all the answers. I don't know how, as Peter Van Runt said in his most recent video. He doesn't know how. Leave the how alone. It's hard for me to leave the how alone, though. Because I want to say, how do we get from where we've been to where I see us going? How do we get to that unity consciousness and to the place of unanimity in saying we each want our own life to be fulfilled according to our values and according to our needs? That each of us deserve that as a natural right, as our inheritance. But there's something in the 3D that's blocking it. And I get so frustrated with people saying, well, I'm living in 5D. To me, that's not grounding. And it's not about Bill Ballard. It's about an idea. It's about an idea that I think has been implanted in the matrix of escapism. And man, I know I want to embrace it all with my heart. And I want to get into the place where I stop the struggle, where I don't feel like life is a struggle anymore. I want to be there. But I can't be there as long as there's injustice still going on the planet, and as blatant as it is. I can't be in that place of peace observing the world. And they say, well, Ron, go into your heart. Just go in and find that place of bliss. I've been in that place of bliss. I've been in there so many times. But I look at the world because it's the human experience. It's the physical 3D reality that I'm wanting to see changed into a higher reality where there is peace on earth. You see, that's my thing. It's not about my way is better than somebody else's way, and I don't like being told that somebody else's way is better than my way. We each have our own perceptions, and we're to love one another. That's our calling, to love one another. And that's a tremendous value, to live and let live. To be, if you can't love someone, at least tolerate the differences, because the differences enrich us ultimately, provided we're not going about on the ego plan of trying to force our perception and our belief and our way on somebody else. That's where we get in trouble. That's always an evil. To me, that's always wrong. Anytime that anybody, including me, would try to force somebody else to do my will when they don't want to, against their consent, without their consent, and I force them, then I'm breaking a natural law. And that's evil. And it exists in our world blatantly. And it will continue, from my perspective, to exist until something happens that stops it. Something has to stop that manifestation in our world that brings forth injustice. And this is prime for me. This is being true to myself. I'm not trying to, again, I'm not putting anybody down. I'm not putting anybody down. I'm speaking from my heart, from my convictions, from my truth, from my values. I'm speaking the best I can. And yes, it seems like most of the world, including the elite, are that the human experience is an experience of victimization. Even if you're the victimizer, you're being victimized because you're not living at the essence, which is love. And I believe the essence of all of us, in fact, all of creation, the essence is love. Now, am I wrong to expect that there can be peace on earth? I mean, I've had my brother and many of my friends tell me, Ron, you're an idealist. You're looking for utopia. It'll never happen. Yes, I'm looking for a world that works for everybody. If you want to call that utopia, it's utopia. But that's been my vision. And I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I'm not attacking anybody from my perspective. I'm not. But when an idea that I have and a perception that I have comes in conflict, other people want to defend their position. I'm not even trying to defend my position. I'm saying this is just simply how I see it. It'll either resonate with you or it won't. And if it doesn't, let it go. We're all going to see what we're going to see when we're going to see it. And I don't know how. And I don't know when. And I'm not sure why it's so hard. Because to me, it looks like it should be easy. But obviously it's not. Anyway, that's my talk for this morning. And I just wish we could stop and get over the craziness and the insanity that we seem to live with in our world. I love you. Namaste.